Welcome back, word detectives. Today, we're diving into a high-stakes explainer. Think of this as your virtual training camp. We are going to take your vocabulary and spelling skills from amateur to absolute champion level by mastering one incredibly powerful piece of language, and that's the Latin root locus. If you've ever found yourself totally stuck staring at a long, complex word in a spelling bee or a difficult text and wondering where to even begin, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to decode the secrets of this root, and by the end of this explainer, you'll be dissecting words like a total pro. So here is our championship playbook for today. Section 1 is the golden rule. Section 2 is 10 spelling alerts. 3 covers the championship strategy. 4 is root rivalries. 5 puts you to the test with detective challenges. And finally, 6 is the champion's review. Let's get right to work. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the golden root rule, where we define locus. Okay, so locus, it's of Latin origin, and it literally just means place, position, or location. That's it. That is your golden key. Whenever you hear or see LOC in a word, I want your brain to immediately hit the brakes and ask one simple question. Is this word describing a place, a position, or a location? If the answer is yes, congratulations, you've just identified a member of the locus family, and you instantly know a major part of its spelling and its meaning. Moving on to Section 2, 10 spelling bee alerts. You definitely don't want to get tricked here. Let's kick things off with Alert 1, the visual similarity trap. Beginning spellers often confuse locus with the really common word lock because, well, they look so similar. But here's the catch. Locus is Latin and means place. Lock is Old English and means to fasten or secure. They are completely 100% unrelated. The ultimate champion tip here is to never assume two words share a root just because they look alike on paper. Now, what's really fascinating is how subtle the difference can actually be. Alert 2 compares local and locale. They're closely related, right? They both deal with places. But pay attention to the nuance. Local is an adjective describing something like a local library, but locale, with an E on the end, names the actual setting or surroundings, like a beautiful mountain locale. Just one single letter changes the entire function of the word. Alert 3 requires us to look at the tail end of the word. Location versus locator. They share that LOC root, sure, but as word detectives, you always have to examine the suffix. The suffix ation means you're talking about the process or the place itself, but swap that to ater, and suddenly you're talking about the person or the device that's actually finding the place. You really have to pay attention to those endings. Oh, here is a classic rhyming trap for Alert 4, locust versus focus. They both end in us, they're both Latin, and they sound like a perfect pair, but they are entirely different roots. While locus means place, focused originally meant a fireplace or a hearth, which eventually evolved into our modern meaning of a center of attention. Despite the rhyme, absolutely never confuse them. Alert 5 brings us a sound-alike trap that actually crosses languages. Locus versus logos. They sound kind of similar, but locus is our Latin root for place, whereas logos is a Greek root meaning word, reason, or speech. We're talking different languages, completely different meanings, and different spellings. All right, we're going to rapid fire through alerts 6, 7, and 8. First up, pronunciation. The plural of locus is loci, and it's pronounced loci, definitely not loci. Next, watch out for double L's in words like allocate. Historically, the prefix ad changed to al before an L just to make it easier to say out loud. That's a rule called assimilation. Finally, don't let science throw you off. In genetics, a locus is a gene's position. In math, it's a set of points. So even in these highly technical fields, the root still ties right back to our golden rule. It's all about place. Okay, alerts 9 and 10 introduce our ultimate philosophy for all of this. Don't memorize, analyze. Think about a massive word like translocation. Do not try to memorize 13 random letters. Break it apart. Trans means across, loc means place, and ation is the process. It's literally the process of moving a place across. And you'll notice how the root stays exactly the same even as we swap out prefixes. Relocate, translocate, dislocate. You aren't actually learning new roots. You're just snapping on different linguistic Lego pieces. Which brings us to Section 3, the championship spelling strategy. Let's look at step-by-step spelling. Here is your 4-step formula. Seriously, do not just start guessing letters. Step 1, isolate and find the prefix at the beginning. Step 2, spot the core root, our good old friend LOC. Step 3, identify the suffix at the end that tells you the word's function. And step 4, which is absolutely the most crucial one, ask, what kind of place is this word describing? By using logical deduction instead of rote memory, you get to build the word piece by piece. So let's actually put that strategy to a quick test right now. Which of these words genuinely belongs to the LOCUS family? Is it A, locket, B, location, C, lock, or D, locker? I'll give you a second to think about the golden rule. And the answer is B, location. Incredible job if you caught that. As we talked about earlier, lock, locker, and locket might share those first 3 letters, but they are all about securing things, not about places. Only location stays true to our Latin root. All right, section 4, root rivalries and comparisons. Let's compare some roots. Let's look at a pretty massive rivalry, locus versus topo. Both of these deal with places, but locus is Latin and it zeroes in on a very specific place or position. Topo, on the other hand, is Greek, and it zooms way out. It refers to the broad arrangement of places, regions, or landscapes. Think of a topographical map showing mountains and valleys. It's a specific spot versus a broad landscape. And you know, this brilliantly illustrates our next comparison, locus versus site. A site, from the Latin situs, is highly physical. It's the literal ground where something stands, like a construction site or a historic site. Locus is much more versatile. It can be an abstract mathematical point, a genetic position, or just a general location. Let's run through a few other common rivals to watch out for. Take ST, which means to stand, like in a station. Yes, a station is a place, but the root really focuses on the standing part. Or look at PORT, meaning to carry, like in transport. Sure, transportation changes places, but the root itself literally means carry. Or ven, meaning to come, like a venue. People come to a venue. Understanding the primary action of these roots ensures you will never, ever confuse them with our pure location root, locus. Before we move on, I want you to take a mental snapshot of this master root comparison chart. Seriously, this is your ultimate study guide, your secret weapon. It perfectly summarizes everything we just discussed, from our Latin LOC for place, down to the Greek topo for landscape, the Latin port for carry, and the Greek chora for larger regions. Having this framework in your mind organizes all the chaos of the English language into neat, understandable little categories. Now for Section 5, Word Detective Challenges. Time to test your skills. Consider these 5 words for a second: topography, relocation, transport, station, and venue. I want you to mentally identify the core root for each one and what that root means before I give you the answer. Ready? Topography uses topo, meaning landscape. Relocation uses our champion, LOC, meaning place. Transport relies on port, meaning to carry. Station is built on STA, meaning to stand. And venue comes from ven, meaning to come. If you got those right, you are officially thinking like a real etymologist. Let's tie this all together with a final championship tip and review. As we've seen today, words can share a meaning but not a root. A venue, a station, and a site are all places, sure, but absolutely none of them belong to the locus family. To crack any word, you really just need to ask 2 questions. What does the word mean, which reveals its definition, and where did it come from, which guarantees you'll get the spelling right. You can now recognize the traps, distinguish the rival roots, and effortlessly decode those prefixes. We'll leave you with this final, powerful champion's reminder. Whenever you see LOC, ask yourself, is this word describing a place, a position, or a location? I really want you to think about that. By internalizing just this one simple question, how many hundreds of complex, intimidating words can you now effortlessly decode, spell, and completely master? The dictionary isn't a mystery anymore. It's really just a giant puzzle waiting for your new skills. Keep analyzing, keep questioning, and keep learning.